Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're having a wonderful day, a wonderful week. I hope you're staying safe wherever you are in the world. And I will be listening to some Britney Spears today. A lot of you have been requesting for me to continue doing Britney Spears albums, even her music videos, which I do want to do a Britney Spears music video journey one day in the near future, even though I've seen most of her music videos. I grew up with Britney. I grew up in the 90s and 2000s, so Britney Spears was everywhere. I've seen most of her music videos. There might be a couple music videos of hers that I haven't seen, but regardless, I'm excited to dig into her third studio album from 2001 called Simply Britney. And this is the last Britney album that I haven't listened to in full. After this album, I would have listened to all her other albums already. Blackout and Glory, Britney Jean, and Femme Fatale. I've heard all those already. But I will still do album review videos on those albums, even the ones I've heard already. But this is the last Britney album I haven't heard yet, and I'm excited to get into it. Now, I have heard quite a few of the tracks already because quite a few of them were released as singles. So there are 50 tracks. I'm listening to the deluxe edition, which is 52 minutes. There's 15 tracks. And I already heard I'm a Slave for You, track number 1. Track number 2, Overprotected. Track number 4, I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman. Track number 5, Boys. Track number 7, I Love Rock and Roll. And track number 13, I Run Away. So I heard those tracks, but all the other ones are brand new to me. And we just listened to I'm a Slave for You, track number 1. And what is there to say about that song? I remember being a young kid and watching the music video to that song. And, it was pretty scandalous for Britney at this time because prior to this, she released Oops, I Did It Again. And then her debut album came before that. So this was a bit scandalous. I mean, Christina Aguilera and her stripped album with Dirty. I mean, the pop girls of the time were definitely going more dirty and more scandalous, more sweat, more choreography in their videos, more scantily clad. And I'm a Slave for You will always be a great Britney song. It's not only catchy as hell, it's extremely sexy, and wherever you are, you can just get down to it. I mean, there were times at my workplace where this song was played, and when it started playing, I just had the urge to be a slut. I just wanted to start grinding over the counters. I wanted to start using displays as stripper poles. I just wanted to start ripping my clothes off. This song will definitely bring out your inner sexuality and just make you want to do all sorts of naughty things. I actually discovered this little guy right here when I was going on my Janet Jackson discography journey, and I listened to her album, Damita Jo. And that's when I started spraying my body with water every time I encountered a song or album that I thought was extremely steamy and sexy. It's a great way to cool off, even when you're not listening to music. When you're out during the summer, it's just a great way to cool off. It's so refreshing. So now let's move on to track number 2, Overprotected.
I need me.
Alrighty, so that was track number 2, Overprotected, and this is another great Britney song that I absolutely love and adore from this era. However, this version right here, the original, is not my favorite. I do prefer the Dark Child remix of this song, which is found on her Greatest Hits, My Prerogative album. That version hits a lot harder than this one, and this one kind of pales in comparison. The other version that I'm speaking of, the Dark Child remix, is a lot better in my opinion. So that's the version that I always go to. And I feel like a lot of people back in the day, even today in 2020, can relate to this song, Overprotected, especially when you're young and you're confused about your life and you're pulled in so many different directions and you're exposed to so many new things. When you're a teenager, you just feel overprotected. People are just guarding you. People aren't letting you do certain things. You're restricted from doing things you really love. And I've gone through that phase where I felt like I was overly overprotected by people in my life. They wouldn't let me do certain things. I wasn't exposed to a lot of things that my peers were. I feel like I was sheltered a lot when I was a kid and even into my teenage years. And I feel like it's really important to let people make mistakes because how else will they learn and grow? And in the song, Britney is saying, there must be another way because I believe in taking chances. But who am I to say what a girl is to do? God, I need some answers. What am I to do with my life? You will find it out, don't worry. How am I supposed to know what's right? You just gotta do it your way. I mean, she is speaking the truth right there. You just gotta do it your way. Britney, back in 2001, this was her third album, and this was global domination for her. I imagine her life must have been, though entertaining, and she must have felt like she was on cloud nine. I imagine she was severely overworked, pulled in so many different directions. You need to do this, you need to do that. And she was, I imagine, being disciplined on how to act in public, her appearance, what she should wear, what she should wear, who she should date, who she shouldn't date. So I imagine her life must have been very guarded and protected. So anyway, let's move on to track number 3, Lonely. Okay, and that was track number 3, Lonely, and this was a pretty cool song, but the chorus sounds kind of familiar, so I imagine, I don't know, I might have heard this song before, way back when I was a kid, because the chorus does sound strangely familiar to me, so I think I probably heard this song before, but at the same time, it sounds completely new, and I actually enjoyed it. It's catchy as hell, just like any other Britney song. And it's a lot of fun. I like the lyrics once again. This album is definitely more it's like it's hip hop R&B inspired, which is a lot of fun. And she's saying, think of all the times that I took you back. Ain't no way I'll be lonely. I don't want to let you back in. Let's just face it. Better off alone and I won't turn back. So these are very typical pop lyrics you've heard many times before in many pop songs. And it works, and it's a lot of fun. So now let's move on to track number 4, I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet, a Woman.
I used to think I had the answers to everything. All in between. There is no need to protect me. Learn to face up to this on my own. I'm not a girl. Not a girl. I'm not a girl. Don't tell me what to believe. I'm not a girl.
Alrighty, and that was track number 4, I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet, a Woman, from the Crossroads movie that she started from 2002. And oh my god, Crossroads, I don't remember the last time I saw that movie. It must have been a long time ago. Wow, I definitely need to revisit that movie. But every time I hear this song, I think of that movie. And it's such a beautiful ballad. It's such a beautiful Britney ballad. I always go back to it. And you might laugh at me, but when I was younger, when I was a kid, I remember changing I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman to I'm Not a Boy, Not Yet a Man to make it more relatable to myself. And it made it all that more powerful. And again, we're continuing the theme of Britney still appearing to be stuck. She's stuck in her transition between girlhood and womanhood, and she just wants to spread her wings. She just wants to kind of go on into the horizon on her own. She realizes that she was protected and people were holding her hand, but now she's saying, I'm not a girl, don't tell me what to believe. I just want to find the woman in me. And I imagine the song was very powerful to a lot of teenage girls back in the day, even now. And even teenage boys, like I just told you, I would say I'm not a boy, not yet a man a lot when lip syncing to the lyrics back when I was a teenager. And it's very relatable to a lot of teenagers. And so far, I am at 4 tracks into the album, and I'm definitely picking up a theme of rebellion, of not wanting to be protected, guarded, wanting to do her own thing, wanting to find her own path, wanting to find her own way, wanting people to let her make mistakes so that she can kind of grow on her own. So now let's move on to track number 5, Boys.
For whatever reason, I feel like I've been wanting you all my life. I spotted you dancing. You made all the girls stare. Those lips and your brown eyes and your sexy hair. What would it take for you to just leave with me? Let's turn this dance floor into our own little nasty world. Boys, sometimes a girl just needs one, and she's in control. Put the boy off the dance floor, screaming in his ear. It puts me in the mood. What would it take for you to just leave with me? Let's turn this dance floor into our own little nasty world. Boys, sometimes a girl just needs one. There's no time to lose. Boys, I love that to hold. Great. Boys, nasty. Boys, can't live with them. Can't live without them.
Okay, and that was track number 5, Boys. This is another great song. But once again, just like track number 2, Overprotected, I'm not the biggest fan of this version of the song. I like the version found on her greatest hits album, My Prerogative. It's the co-ed remix featuring Pharrell Williams, which I absolutely love. And Pharrell was a co-writer on this song. And I really love the last line in the song. She says, "Can't live with him, can't live without him." And what I also like is, I mean, I might be reaching here, but she does use the words nasty and control in this song. And for those of you who know about Janet Jackson's music, you will know that Janet has an album called Control. She has a song called Control. She also has a song called Nasty off her Control albums. Whether it was intentional, whether this is alluding to Janet Jackson, I don't know, but it's pretty understandable, and it's a well-known fact that Britney and her music was inspired by Janet to some degree, especially when it comes to her choreography and what have you. It's just interesting how back in the day, these pop stars like Christina and Britney were inspired by the pop stars and R&B stars that came before them, like Janet and Madonna. And now the pop and R&B artists of today in 2020 are saying that they were inspired by, of course, Madonna and Janet, but also Britney and Christina. So I can only imagine, 10 or 20 years from now that the pop stars in 2030 or 2040 are going to say, yeah, I was inspired by Madonna and Janet and Britney and Christina, but I was also inspired by Ariana and Dua Lipa and Nicki Minaj. And it's just so weird how that trade continues through the decades. So anyway, let's keep moving on to track number 6, Anticipated.
If I down on the street, looking in the mirror and I'm checking on my lipstick, making my way, that's for sure. My body's taking over, I want some more. I'll be anticipated. This is our song. Step up, baby, don't be shy. I know you're feeling me 'cause you're giving me the eye, and I'll be anticipated. This is our song. Feeling this way. Let's do this tonight. Gotta really let me know if you want me. Gotta really let me know if you want me. Gotta turn me on and make me feel sexy. I won't come right. Feeling this way. Let's do this tonight.
Alrighty, so that was track number 6, Anticipated, and this was an adorable song. This was honestly one of the cutest songs I've ever heard, and it was very whimsical. It just has that sort of cute bubblegum innocence to it. She said, "I want to rock with you. You're feeling this right. Let's do this tonight. Let me know if you want me. You gotta turn me on and make me feel sexy." Maybe it was the production I wasn't really feeling. I just felt like it was too vanilla for the aesthetic of the rest of the album. And I'm curious, I actually forget how old Britney was when this album came out. So it came out in 2001, and she was born in 1981. So, oh my god, she was only 20 years old when she put out this album. It was her third studio album. I keep forgetting how young Britney was when she put out her first few albums. So let's move on to track number 7, I Love Rock and Roll. Alrighty, so that was track number 7, I Love Rock and Roll, which is also from the Crossroads soundtrack and movie. And this version, I mean, I honestly don't really care for Britney's version. I will always go back to the more popular versions, which I actually had to research a little bit when it comes to the song I Love Rock and Roll. It was first recorded by The Arrows in 1975. It is best known for its 1982 cover version of Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. So I will, of course, always go back to the Joan Jett version. The Britney version, not so much. I mean, it's cute. She definitely put her own spin on it when it came to the production. It's more obviously rock, but also more R&B influence. But like I said, it's not really a Britney track I would go back to. So now let's move on to track number 8, Cinderella. Okay, and that was track number 8, Cinderella, and this was another cute song. It says at the bottom that it was co-written by Britney Spears, so she had a hand in writing the song, and Max Martin. Max Martin has the Midas touch when it comes to crafting a lot of really good pop songs. He's had a hand in creating a lot of great Britney songs, a lot of great pop songs in general. A lot of people know that, and he is very talented. When it comes to the actual song itself, I feel like it hasn't aged very well. It does sound very early 2000s when it comes to the production, whereas a song like I'm a Slave for You, I feel like has aged a lot better. And that song, I'm a Slave for You, still sounds quite current to a degree. It doesn't sound as aged as a track like Cinderella. I mean, the lyrics are really cute. She's using the allegory of Cinderella and how Cinderella's got to go, I'm sorry, just trying to live my life. Again, she's continuing the theme of just wanting to live her life. She doesn't want to be overprotected. She doesn't want to be restrained. She just wants to forge her own path. She wants to go her own way. So now let's move on to track number 9, Let Me Be. Okay, and that was track number 9, Let Me Be. And this was a very catchy song, I will say. It's still kind of stuck in my head at chorus. And I actually wouldn't mind if this track was a single. And let's actually look at the singles for this album. I'm a Slave for You, Overprotected, I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman, I Love Rock and Roll, Anticipating, and boys, I don't know how I feel about anticipating being a single. I feel like it could have definitely been Let Me Be, maybe. I mean, one of the things I do love about this album is the production. Even though it does sound a bit dated, I mean, this came out in 2001, but I still really like the production. It sounds really good. Did Pharrell Williams have a hand in producing this album? Producer. It doesn't say Pharrell Williams listed as a producer. It says Justin Timberlake, though. Max Martin, the Neptunes. But anyway, let's move on to track number 10, Bombastic Love.
I'm here to testify. I feel so insecure. Everything is gonna be alright.
Okay, and that was track number 10, Bombastic Love. This was a fun song. It's not one of my favorites on the album. I'm a little indifferent to it, but it's still somewhat catchy. And once again, I like the production. It's fun. I feel like there's nothing that really stands out about the song. I mean, the lyrics are pretty generic and straightforward. There's nothing that interesting about them. The production, I feel like, is production we've heard on several other pop sounding, R&B sounding songs before. So I liked it, but I feel like it's, nothing new or exciting. So anyway, let's move on to track number 11. That's Where You Take Me.
These walls up so high. Needed my room to breathe. Stay with me a while. All things fall into place. That's where you take me. With you, I get so high. That's where you take me. I've never felt before. Oh baby, you make me smile. Stay with me a while. You are my melody. That's where you take me. That's where you take me. With you, I get so high.
Okay, so that was track number 11. That's Where You Take Me. Oh. I don't know. I thought the song was pretty boring, and I am sorry, but I didn't like this song at all. It might be my least favorite on the album. The lyrics are very generic, very generic. She says, "With you I get so high, lost in the crystal sky." Whatever. And then there's a whole bunch of la la la's. This is definitely a filler track. This is the embodiment of a filler track. Let's move on to track number 12, When I Found You.
I believe we all have one true love. That's when I found you. Or sink or swim when the tide came in. When I found you, I found the closest thing to heaven. For me, yes, it's true. I found myself when I found you. Oh, I believe, yes, it's true. I found myself. I got so alone, all alone, more than you could ever know.
Okay, and that was track number 12, When I Found You. And I liked this song. I thought it was very pretty and beautiful. I liked her vocal. She sounded really nice. And I liked the melody. It was very sweet. And I thought we were going to have a Where Are You Now moment, where, for any of those of you who don't know, her Oops, I Did It Again album, she has a song called Where Are You Now. It was a power ballad. And I thought we were going to have one of those moments. But we didn't quite get there, but I still really like this song. Anyway, let's move on to track number 13, I Run Away.
You took your love away too fast. And now I know the truth. It makes it easy.
Okay, and that was track number 13, I Run Away. This was a very haunting song. I always enjoyed it. It's a very beautiful and I like the lyrics. To me, this is one of the standouts on the album. It's just a very haunting yet beautiful song. And it's a little bit of a shame because the regular edition of this album ended at track number 12. So we're now in deluxe edition territory with I Run Away. But anyway, let's move on to track number 14, What It's Like to Be Me.
Twisted, it just deceives you, baby. I'm not the average lady. After all of my shoes, do me right while I'm through. Can't you see that? See you wrong. After all of my shoes, do me right while I'm through. Baby, you don't know what it's like. Walk a mile in my shoes, and I can't see. Obviously, baby, you don't know what it's like to be me.
Okay, and that was track number 14, What It's Like to Be Me. And this definitely sounds like a song that Janet Jackson could have released. More so than all the other ones. I feel like, I don't know, for some reason, as I was listening to the song, I could just picture Janet singing it. There were parts where I could almost envision Janet singing parts of the song. And I liked it. I mean, it sounds kind of generic. It's probably not a song I would go back to. It's not memorable, really, but maybe if another artist sang it, it would be memorable. So now let's move on to the final track of the album. Track number 15, Before the Goodbye.
Just be on your way, but I'm wishing I could make you stay. Oh, you're near, you're leaving, I'm waiting, forgive me. I feel, forgive me, I'm always missing you. You're leaving, I'm waiting for the goodbye.
Okay, that was track number 15, Before the Goodbye. Yes! Oh my god, this song was so much fun. I loved it. It was definitely more dance heavy, but I just feel like they could have done so much more with it. It didn't pack that punch. It was too quiet. It didn't rev me up. I feel like they could have done so much more. I feel like this could have just been a full-blown dance track. Is there a remix of this song? There definitely should be. I imagine there are several remixes of this song, but oh my god, this song could have been so much better. But you know what? I still love it. It's still a really good track. I don't care if I'm overreacting. It was a lot of fun, and that melody and just everything, I like it. And I've had this issue with a couple of the songs on this album where I feel like they didn't pack enough punch. Like the songs Overprotected and Boys. There are better versions of these tracks, the remixes on her Greatest Hits My Prerogative album. I almost wish those versions were on this album. I feel like if those versions were on this album, I would have liked the album more. There were just many times where I feel like they should have went further with the production. It should have hit harder, and it didn't. So that is that. That is Britney by Britney Spears from 2001, her third album. There were quite a few memorable songs on here, but I feel like there was also a lot of generic sounding songs that, though catchy, they were catchy, a lot of them kind of blended together and sounded the same. And even though some of the songs did sound similar, I did like the production of the album overall. And another thing I like about this album is the theme that we experienced more so in the beginning of the album. I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman, and Overprotected. How she doesn't want to be guarded anymore. She kind of wants to be let go, and she wants to do her own thing. She's still young. She's not a girl, not yet a woman. She's still finding herself out. She wants to experiment. She just wants to do her own thing. I understand you love me, but just please let me do my own thing. I'm gonna fall, I'm gonna fail, but I need to fail in order to find out things about myself and to learn a lot more about life. I mean, I could go on about what she must have been feeling at this time in her life in 2001, world domination. It was Britney fucking Spears, just how popular she was, and just, the security and just be monitored by every step. I mean, I could go on about what it must have been like to be Britney Spears back in 2001, but I won't. Because at the end of the day, I don't know what it would have been like to be Britney Spears in 2001. I can only imagine, but from what I'm gathering, I mean, it must have been crazy as hell. So overall, I did like the album, but I just wish it packed a bit more of a punch. I just wish it hit me a bit harder. This album kind of just slapped me across the face. It didn't punch me out. It didn't knock me out, which is what I wanted. I wanted this album to knock me out, but at the end of the day, it just kind of did that. But I wanted up. So what did you guys think of the album? And how does it compare listening to it in 2001 to listening to it now in 2020? How does this album rank on your Britney discography list? Where does it rank? Where does it fall? And what are your favorite tracks? Did you see the movie Crossroads? What did you think of it? And I think that's all I wanted to say on the album. I will be continuing my Britney album reviews. We finished her first 4 albums, so now we are headed into familiar territory when it comes to albums I've listened to already. So I've listened to Blackout, I've listened to Circus, and so on and so forth, but I will still do album reviews and reactions to those albums down the line. I don't know, this isn't a routine series I'm doing. I upload one Britney video every couple months or so, and I will eventually go on my Britney Spears music video journey as well, but I don't know when that will be. So thanks for watching, guys.
You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitter, you can message me, you can tell me other artists I should check out. I will tell you artists for a decade. You can find me on Apple Music, you can check out my playlist and what I'm listening to right now. And yeah.
It's getting very cloudy right now. I think we're gonna get rain, so sorry for the lack of light. But anyway, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.